I think I've been interested in law since I was a child, but I became really interested in constitutional law about the age of 10, actually. I was about 10 years old when the bicentennial of the Constitution was celebrated, and I got interested in that, in American history and the Founding Fathers and so forth. And I particularly remember when I was in ninth grade, when I first learned of the case of Tinker versus Des Moines School District, which is a 1968 case in the US Supreme Court in which the court upheld the right of high school students to wear black armbands to their school to protest the Vietnam War. They had been punished by their schools for doing this, and the Supreme Court said that they had a First Amendment right to do that. And when I first read that case, it really, really hit me that here was the Constitution of the United States reaching out to protect me, a student in a school, in a public school, who had rights that the school couldn't take away from me. That really meant a lot to me. And I remember I made my parents take me down to a law library so I could photocopy a copy of that case and keep it with me. I was very fortunate to have a connection to the Goldwater Institute before I started because my wife was already employed at the Institute. And when the opportunity arose to work alongside her and to work for an organization that had proven itself to be such an effective and valuable voice for freedom, not just in Arizona, but worldwide, I mean, I couldn't have asked for more. I was very fortunate to succeed Clint Bolick in his role as Vice President for Litigation because he had come to Arizona to start an institution that would focus on the protections for individual freedom that are found in the state constitutions, which are often neglected. A lot of the time, lawyers will focus on the federal constitution and disregard the state constitutional protections. And he really wanted to change that attitude in the law. So I was very fortunate to succeed him at the Institute to pursue that mission and our other projects here in defense, in not just defense, in promoting individual liberty and making for a society where people can live freer and happier lives. I think my favorite case that we've been working on at the Institute recently has been our cases challenging the constitutionality of the Indian Child Welfare Act. This is a 1978 federal law that creates a separate and less protective set of rules to govern child welfare cases involving children who are biologically eligible for membership in an Indian tribe. This law doesn't apply to children who are tribal members only. It also applies to children who could someday become tribal members. And it doesn't apply on tribal lands. It applies in cities, in suburban neighborhoods. And it prevents state child protection officers from protecting children against abuse and neglect and makes it incredibly difficult to find these children safe, loving, and permanent adoptive homes when necessary. I am extremely proud that the Goldwater Institute has taken on this cause to defend these children who are among America's most at-risk children, statistically speaking, to protect them against an unconstitutional, racially segregated system that deprives them of the protections that they're entitled to under federal and state law.